As you could see, as you hold on, let me slide over a bit here. Alright, bringing my lower third just so you can know this is Grand Strains. Now, if you want, you can hit that like button, you can hit that subscribe, and you can hit that bell for more notifications. Now, let's get into this. Right? My name is Juice Warner. Glad to have you here. Right? Well, let me turn off my little clicking sounds. You already know what the click is. You already know what the click is. Hold on a minute here. Let me turn that off. Right? Okay, so we in the building. Right? Now, as you can see, my plants, hold on, let me put my lower thirds away. Hold on. Why is it not going away? Okay, so nonetheless, you see how my 3-barrel G is coming along. You see, I'm gonna show you the other one in a second, the other 3-bear. Now you see my pink Panama coming along. You see my other pink Panama, and you even see the little one right there coming along. Right, hold on, let me move. I can stick my hand in my tent here, mess with my Hold on a minute here. Alright. I don't know why it's not doing it like I want it, but okay. So when you see the other one right there, because I'm right on my I got my tent right by my desk. You know what I'm saying? So you see I could do this, right? I got the tent right here by my desk, right? Drop that back down for y'all. Oh, and my Fuge stayed up here, finally popped, came out to, I spotted it this morning. Like I said, it usually takes around 3-4 days tops. After like the fourth day, it's what it is. You know what I mean? I usually count it off by the fourth day, but it could surprise you on that day. It's not like, it can't surprise you. So, as you can see, my girls are getting bigger here. You should see some shaking on them because I've, moved my fan to allow them, because now that they at a certain height, I told you I want to build up their strength, right? So I'm building up their strength to get them, stronger. And that's just that, you know what I mean? So for now, I just watered them, and we'll be getting more into, certain things you need to do. But most of the time with auto flowers, there's not really much you gonna do. You add some, my nutrients. I make sure that my lighting and all of that. Actually, tonight I'm gonna change my lighting, right, the hours, so it'll be on a little bit longer tonight, so that way it'll still have good amount of time, and then it will be off during the daytime. So from here on out, like, it would be on now, like, to come on like around 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, around that time. And so that way the day hours in the heat, because it's still hot, you know what I mean? So, my tent, hold on, let me see if I could show you my thermostat on my tent, right? Okay, so as you can see right here, it's saying 86. That's hot. You know what I mean? That's hot. You want it to be like in the 70s. So like sometimes my tent get up to like like 90. I got a humidifier in there, so I'm gonna have to, if it continues like that, I just um put the humidifier on to bring it. It usually brings that temperature down. So it'd be good if that's the case. But like I said, I'm gonna be switching up to the night hours, so hopefully that'll clear some of that up as well. All right. So, that's just really it. It ain't really much to be talking about in the first, part. I really just do this so, like I said, I can have, still shots. So that's why I want to get like a decent, hold on a minute here. I just want to get one where I could say I got, hold on. I wanted to have it to where I can have all of them inside the picture, but I don't know what's going on. All right, hold on. I think I can do it this way. What? Hold on a minute here. Forgive me, people. All right. Okay, that should be about right there. Let me move myself out the way. Just so I could have, I just want to have like a still shot, you know what I mean? So I could keep a progress of the grow. Whatever. That should be good. It's what it is, right? You know what I mean? You do what you do, and you do it when you do it the best, right? So it's just what we do, right? So I wanna talk to y'all. Oh, by the way, if you get a chance, up in the corner of my channel, you can go check out. It's the Amazon site, and you can go up there and you can actually purchase my book, Street Skellsy, Knock 'em Out the Box. You can also go and check out my Hold on a minute here. I want to just show you the page again. Uh, Put this up. You know how it is. Let me see. Okay, it's okay, that's just giving me the heads up. Stephen Jackson says always check in. Go to my channel. Okay, so let me go right here. Show y'all this real quick. Now, if you go up here, on my fault. If you go up here, you can see it got the book, right? So then this little heart shape right here. And if you click on that, it'll take you to my shop. Some junkies, social media junkies. As you can see, some junkies. And you could go and support the channel by purchasing one of my different designs and shout outs, right? So my season starting this is all starting from everything where you say that where it says the new is the new lineup that I put in there, but you could also still check out the revolutions and all of the different designs that I got, right? So these are just the different things. I don't like this one on the white t-shirt. I'm going to change that. But as you can see, my Grand Strange rocking out, right? My Some Junkies t-shirts and designs. We also got the mugs and all of that. So you can support the channel. I'm actually about to get this one right here, but I think I'm going to get the other design on it. I'm going to get this design. Hold on, I'm gonna get this design right here on the mug. All right, but then you got conspiracy revealers and all of these different things. So let's just go back to my 10 here, right? So Right now, I'm working on a new series. I was actually watching a video, well, a few videos today, right? And it was dealing with, basically the boule, the the college fraternities and how they Masonic. So for me, I've been happy to see this in a way, right? But as I was watching it, I had to tell one of the hosts, that I'm actually pinning them in this, right? That based on certain things that I heard, when it comes to Freemasonry, you should always notice repetition, not just with the person saying it, but repetition on a subject. So the number one thing that I heard was, oh, such and such amount of days, matter of fact, on this day today, I left, but it was 2 years ago or a year ago. That right there is a red flag. But now, the video that I was watching, it was from, I think it's called No Milk Podcast, something like that. And so I'm gonna give them a shout out. But in that video, it was a young lady talking, and out of, I think I seen 3, 4 videos, and I don't even know why they popped up. I think it was because I was inside a room with Killer Priest, right? He has a Podcraft, right? And inside there was a guy talking, and he was clearly, with the bull and the misleadingness and promoting how he can, but he did all of this legally, but then he gave out the disclaimer of, I'm not giving legal advice, so don't try this, and all of this BS. So I don't know, I think it was due to that video, like due to that subject matter, that this had popped up on my timeline, because in honesty, I've hardly ever seen them doing a denouncing thing, but I commend them, and I told the person that I commend them, but I just sense that it's an underlying, of information that was there that, kind of was a red flag for me. But the information that the young ladies was giving, because it was like 3 or 4 different videos that I watched, and like I said, I'm a pin them in my in this video, just to give them respect. I wanted to, say I commend you, especially when you see the ladies doing it, because right now the Eastern Stars, are the ones who are basically in control of that system, right? Through the feminist movement, the spirituality and all of that stuff. So that was really, one of the things that brought my attention to it. Now, me, I'm very familiar with the fraternities and sororities. My ex, I had actually 2 exes who was in sororities. One was Zeta Phi Beta, and one was Sigma Gamma Rho. So I mean, not that they would ever divulge anything to me, but I know the paddles and the pearls and all of that stuff, and because of what I was dealing with is how one of my exes actually, I believe, started dealing with me. I think that she thought that I was, a part of that too, because her father was a Freemason and, this, that, and the third. And because of me at the time, now mind you, this was like 20 years ago, right? And so I was I wasn't young in the research. I was actually full aware by that time, and this is actually when I'm doing a series, the Master's Carpet. So this was actually the time when I came across that book. Right, so 20 some odd years, like 20 years ago, I came across that book. So, but I was already, well versed in a lot of information. So at that time, there was no YouTube and all of that, popping. So for me, it was no way for me to get the information out. Now, I started YouTube and so people might see this channel and the other channel and think that that's when I started. No. I was actually on YouTube when YouTube was first really getting off the ground, like 2000s. I want to say 6, 7, 8, around that time, right? I know, because I have a page. It was called Piff Heads, right? And then I had another page called Young M World. Now, Young M World was really not supposed to be a page. It was just like documenting my son, and it was like me using it as like free storage. you know You know what I'm saying? Like free storage. But inside those channels is just to let the same things you see now, the backgrounds and all of this stuff, I was actually doing back then. So, just in case anybody think that like I'm this new YouTuber, nah, I got incarcerated. So, I tell people I was in a riot, in prison, but this was actually after I came. You know what I'm saying? No. This was actually before I because I got incarcerated, right, for something that I did in the past. So I wound up getting incarcerated. And this is how I wound up in the riot, and I mean the incite. This was the inciting the riot part. So this is how I wound up, getting inside of that, and pardon me, right? And people, me being able to maneuver, like I said, through the gang culture, which is Freemasonic, right? And so it was simple for me to maneuver because I was already well versed in that since 13. I didn't know about Freemasonry until I was I want to say 19, right? Now, mind you, I was, affiliated, not a part of, but affiliated to the point that people would assume, I was actually, a 5% of, and, Nation of Islam and all of this stuff, because I was, just that type of person. I told you I was active, you know what I'm saying, in the streets. And I don't mean that like well, yeah, I guess in today's time you would say, I was active, you know what I mean? So and I also tell people, but I was introduced to Freemasonry through that, but I was already affiliated with them in the first contact I had with, Freemasons. I want to say I was like 15. That's when I first came across, the 5% Nation, and a young lady heard my name and she was like, she asked me, was I God? And me, or like I said, I never was, asleep, so I can't be called woke because I never was asleep. I never had somebody come and, hey, this, that, and the third. Like, I already was hip. I was in the streets early, and I had a keen eye. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not street smart. Like, I'm actually a street idiot. You know what I'm saying? And you know how they say, like God protects, children and fools. Well, I would say that I was blessed by being a fool. You know what I'm saying? To the point that, what I mean by that is like, I never had that grimy scheme on you, mentality. Like, and every time, like, I remember being incarcerated one time, and like, somebody that came in there, and I'm ready to run them out, but my boy had to, tell me to chill because he wanted to basically dig his pockets, run him for his. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna roll with him. But I think the person knew that because I had already approached him once, or some, you gotta get up out of here type shit. You know what I mean? So I think I knew the person knew that I turned into scheme mode. You know what I'm saying? So he wound up leaving. He wound up leaving anyway. So that's what I mean. Like, I never, when I say street smart, I mean like, having that grimy gutter mentality. I've never been that. I've always been an up and up dude. So if you was a liar, I'm calling you out for being a liar. If you a dirtbag, I'm calling you out for these things. I'm not co-signing those things. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean about being street smart. There's a certain level of griminess, right? But as a street intellectual, knowing how to maneuver, not, getting visible tattoos, and, like you see people with the face tattoos. Like, I already knew that that's not smart. You know what I mean? Like, my first case was a robbery case, right? And, being an intellectual, I'm trying to fight the case. So the first thing I learned was a case called, I know it was Lopez. I mean, I think it's state versus Lopez versus the state or whatever. And inside that, the way that they was able to, it was like a first degree robbery case or something. So, I know legal systems. So, in this, this robbery case, the person was identified by a tattoo. I want to say whether it was on his face or on his hand. Either way, this was, mind you, I was incarcerated, at 16. I'm in Supreme Court, facing multiple robbery cases. So, so that's how young I was. So I wasn't thinking about tattoos. Like I said, I wasn't into the streets like that. Matter of fact, the people that I caught that case with was the first people that as a group of people, because I have me and my homeboys, but as a large group of people, this was the group that I was running with. Like, this is the South Bronx, Ho, Vice Ave, all of that area, Freeman, Longfellow, all of that, what do you call that shit? Like 174th, then you got all the way down the hill over by Bronx River, houses. So these are the people that I was rolling with from like, 14 to 16. So we out there wilding, going to Central Park and stuff like that. So, that's why like I told you, that's why I was used to doing things. That's why, when Corey Wise got caught, people thought it was me because I was known to be doing that, type of activities. So when I was sitting in there, I learned, I actually wasn't sitting in. I actually got out, but I started doing my research from the streets. But because of that case and me not necessarily being street, oh, the story that I was saying is, when we was together. So my first time seeing, you know, people turn against their own people was this group, right? Because, like I said, I'm usually going down into Central Park, 77th Street, all of that type of area, and we was on a train. I remember it being the 4 train, though, not the 2 and the 5. We was on the 4 train, and dudes just started popping off on people, snatching, Walkmans. This is back when like the Sony Walkmans and all of that came out. The Iowa. It was like the Iowa ones that had the auto reverse on it. This was like a big thing back then. So you know what I'm saying. So I remember, just standing there, like looking, like, yo, what the hell are y'all doing? You know what I mean? And like because I was with them, I got off, the train, and from then, that's how I started, being around that group. But I try to be on some civilized, now we gonna keep it downtown. But these dudes, they kept wanting to go in, other areas outside of that. And so when, they finally got caught up, I wasn't with them for anything else. Anytime it came to that, I let them know, yo, let me know, before time. Don't get me caught up in nothing. It was a long story, but nonetheless, because of that, right? Like I said, I wasn't street smart because I wasn't into the things. I was thinking revolutionary. Nah, these are enemies over here. This is where you go and you get that from. Like, you don't go to people who ain't got nothing. You don't, knock a old lady over the head and, stuff like that. Like, these people ain't gonna accumulate that type of funds, you know what I mean? And they your people. Like, this should be deeper than just the money thing. That's why I had, rules and principles that I've never violated. I've never, robbed a woman. I never, did anything to the elderly. I've never, brought physical harm to anybody, white, black, Chinese, or whatever. I've never brought physical harm to anybody that I was doing, I'm lying. Now that I think about it, because when we was in Central Park, we strong arm robbery, throwing peoples in yokes and all of that type of, yeah, I'm lying, but what I mean by that, I've never put nobody in life-threatening situations, should I say. I've never put nobody in a life-threatening, like bullet holes and stab wounds and stuff like that. Inside of those endeavors, because that's not what I was there for. You know what I mean? I always had like a logic, a common sense back there that prevented me from being street smart. I'm an intelligent person. It's different. Like, smart is to regurgitate and, basically do what the norm is. So if you're scheming, you walk in a certain way, you maneuver in a certain way. That's all part of that. For me, that's what I know street smart to be. I was intelligent, so I knew these are the, I know profiling and, this is what they looking for and, stuff like that. So for me, it was, two-sided. Do this right here, but don't be so engulfed that you lose sight. You know what I mean? And start getting caught up in things that you don't want to get caught up in. And you know what I mean? Like, I just wasn't that type of person. But because of that, it allowed me to really see that, that Freemasonic system of criminals, right? On the but not knowing the manuscripts and all of that people were living out. Like, I didn't know that because the people who first showed me, they were young too. So, it was just more, talking and stuff like that. So by the time I learned, when I say learning Freemasonry, paperwork and all of that, it came through the 5% Nation and, the 120 lessons and all of that. So with that is how I learned Freemasonry. When, and now mind you, the people that I learned it from, they knew me for a while, right? But I had one, like I said, I was getting, in and out, but I was the type to run the city, you know what I mean? So I wasn't on this block or on that block. I mean, I'm everywhere. I'm, boroughs, I'm just in OT, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, this is at 16, 17. I was moving like that. So I wasn't never really stationary. Like, you wouldn't catch me every day in some place, for some periods of time I might do that, but then I might run across somebody, like say I'm hanging out over here, we might be going to like the movies or something, right? And then I could run into somebody over at the movie theater. They're like, yo, Juice, what's good, man? Where you been at? I'm like, ah, you like, yo, come through. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna come through. Next thing you know, I'm over there hanging out, but I'm running across somebody else, and they, you know what I mean? So I was always like a nomad, a drifter, you know what I'm saying, a gypsy. I was just, everywhere, wherever, that mindset was. I wasn't dedicated to nothing because I wasn't a part of nothing. I didn't have to be loyal to a block or projects or something because that wasn't, what I was there for. I wasn't there to be stationary. I was there for a purpose. Even before I knew what that purpose was, before I knew that I needed that information in order for me to give this to you, I didn't know. I was being prepped. You know what I mean? For delivering the truth, right? So then by the time I ran into the like I said, certain books, I remember it actually was Message to the Black Man, and we was already talking about Freemasonry and stuff like that. So when I looked in the book, I was like, yeah, but isn't this the same thing? He just cracked a smile at me, you know what I mean? Like the person who I was building with, I'm not gonna put no names out there, but the person I was talking to just started smiling, and from that I had a full understanding. Like just by that one smile, because before that I was questioning whether or not this was that, right? When the person smiled, then I knew, like I said, but this is the same person who, gave me these books, and that's how I wound up going to, like 25th, 24th Street, where the Wedge building is at. And this is in Manhattan, in downtown Manhattan, like in the Village area. I don't know if it's considered the Village, but it's going down towards that way. Well, anyway, I went inside there, and, from there is where I'm today. You know what I'm saying, as far as this information, right? So, with that, only reason why I'm saying that is because, just to let people know how I became aware of this system, not knowing that, in these systems, they was always trying to get me in it. But I just never been that type of person that liked to be bogged down. Because even if it was spoken in this high intellectual, knowledge, wisdom, all of that type of stuff, I felt that was still gibberish. You know what I mean? And so, and just certain things that would be said, I'd be like, just a reader. I'm like, yeah, but that don't make sense because of this, right? You know what I mean? So I'm debating with that and all of that. So it's just what it was. But from that is how I learned this system. So I'm saying that because as I go on, I'm about to, like I said, I'm narrowing everything down by December, so then in January I can start the end game, like what they've actually done, you know what I mean, and how they've been using us in scientific experiments and stuff like that, and how we have aided and abetted knowingly and unknowingly, right? So we have participated in things knowingly and unknowingly. There are people within us who have been they've knowingly been using us unknowingly to provide, the bodies through, the gang warfares and this type of things. So I'm getting into that. So right now I'm actually putting something together. I'm gonna do a show on suggestions, because I told you this is about hypnotism and mesmerism. We already covered that. So this show that I'm working on will actually be touching on it again, but it'll be more on a timeline, sense. So it'll be like okay, from this right here, but I'm starting from a certain period, from the time of Freemasonry, not the time of that system, of the Druze and all of that type of stuff. So it's along those lines, and it will be leading into, a deeper past, but I'm starting from a certain time frame to now, because from a certain time frame, this system that you see is taken over. So when you hear certain things, like when you hear the witches and go, oh yeah, it wasn't black magic then and all of that, you will be able to understand what they are alluding to. So all of the alludings, right, from what you hear from people, and you might not understand that they are letting you know that they are Freemasons, they are letting you know that they are Eastern Stars, they are letting you know that they are dealing with, magic and witchcraft and all of these type of things, and how this system works without letting you know. I'm gonna let you know, so that way as you hear it, right, you will be able to identify those who are using you for their their tools. You know what I mean? So here go the Freemason and here go the people. So we're gonna show you how this system works, right? And so that's what I'm actually, like I said, I'm working on the I want to clear this up, so probably by like 9 o'clock I'll be able to start that little series, and then get into a few other things. Before I want to get this all cleared up, like I said, we're in the middle of September, like 3 months, what I'm saying? I want to be able to clear all of this up, so that way whenever I speak any reference, and I'm doing this way in a more compact way, because I gave all of the 3 hour, 6 hour readings, right? And so I'm hoping within those readings, if you choose to go and look into the things that I've given you, you can always go through those videos and just go and look into it yourself, or you could just listen, and that's that. And so with that, you'll be able, from the compressed version, right? You can go into the longer version if you want. But Einstein always said, if you can't make the complex, simple, then you don't understand it yourself. So that's why I'm me, I just always been the type of person to appreciate information, and I don't like leading people to an understanding. So that's the reason why I went the long way. I feel that that information is there. I feel that anybody who wants to know it in its totality, cool. Now when I do the alluding and I'm referencing to certain things, it will be in reference to that. You can always go and check those things out, on your own. But I just felt like offer it in a way where somebody could be driving and just be listening to it, and they wouldn't have to necessarily read it. Because like I said, I do not like the this dictative information, meaning that I'm controlling the information. No, the information is there. I try to show you that I know what I'm talking about by, giving it to you in its long way, right? But, then like I said, I realized that people just really just they kind of lazy. They just want the meat and potatoes real quick. They don't care how the farm was. They don't care about the cow. They just want the meal. So that's what I'm gonna give you from this point on. Like I said, a lot of the stuff that I have given is already there, so I can click the videos and say, here, this is basically where you can find it and that. But like I said, for me, it's heartening, like, to see that you have to dumb things down, especially when you put it in a way that they don't have to do nothing. They can just simply listen. They don't have to, read. Like me, I'm the type of person that be studying and still have the TV on. You understand what I'm saying? Like, look up every once in a while, read, because like, I don't like, I understand hypnotism and mesmerism, so I don't, I'm not engulfed in TV. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not engulfed in music. I like 90% out of the music I listen to is street instrumentals. 90% out of the TV, that I watch is binged. Like, I if I can't watch it within a day, if I can't watch that whole series within a day, like that whole season within a day, I'm really not interested in watching it. You know what I mean? So, oh, and I'm actually gonna do one on this new show that's on Showtime called American Gigolo. Now, I'm gonna actually pull up the script just in case people don't have Showtime, and I'm gonna show you this ill pedophilia that's being promoted to the people. As a matter of fact, I might make that my next show and do the other one tomorrow. Like, and because I told myself I wanted to even though this is all really a part of the grand strange smoking joke, I'm still streaming it to my old jaw gritty, just in case I wanted to take parts and use it or whatever. I don't know. I just, now, like I said, now that I could stream to two of my channels at the same time, because I'm streaming to the old jaw gritty and I'm streaming to my grand strange channel. So anybody watching any of the two, nobody's watching my my old your gritty. I'm actually looking at the screen right now. Hold on, let me show you. Right. So I'm actually looking at the show as I'm talking to you. So if you see me looking down and stuff like that, it's for those reasons, just to see if anybody viewing, chat rate, current viewers. It's all zero. It's all zero. Fear not. It's all zero. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, you know what I mean? That's what I'm if you see me looking down, I'm either looking at, and notes and stuff like that. I got my even though it's looking the opposite direction, I'm really looking like it's showing you me looking one way, but I'm actually looking in the opposite direction, right? And so that's where I'm monitoring my software. I use vMix to do my streaming. So I actually might do a show on vMix as well. Give them a shout out. I've been using vMix now for I want to say 3 years, right? 3, 4 years, and I love it. You know what I'm saying? I also use I also have an Elgato Stream Deck, right? So, I can also give you some insight on the tools. I also got an Elgato face cam, right? And so I can, I can give you the insight on any of this stuff, and I might do that because, clearly everybody is not interested in secret societies and those type of things. So, I'm about to slide up out of here so I can get ready to, do the show. Like I said, I decided I'm gonna do my show on American Gigolo. That's what I will be doing in a few, and I actually won't have to wait till like 9 o'clock for that because it's like I already have the information, and all I'm gonna do is just like go to certain parts of the script and address it to show and prove that this TV show should be taken off the air. These people should be investigated, and Showtime should be sued. Right? And anybody who's deciding to do it, I'ma be with you, and I'ma actually promote that series, that show on these different networks that I have, and hopefully it'll get some traction. Alright, until the next time, people, we up out of here. I'm Juice Winner. Hold on. This is Grand Strange Old Jaw Gritty slash right smoking jokes. So don't forget to hit that like, that subscribe, and that bell for more notifications. Right, hold on, let me actually put this down, and don't forget, get your green thumb. Right, so I wonder why I did that. Like now I went to the Old Jaw Gritty, but yeah, don't forget, don't be a hater. Hit that green thumb. Get your thumbs green. Okay, we up out of here, people.